Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. Your host, Fred Arnold, on the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. I'm joined by Rick Ferrante. Rick Ferrante is with Home Care Services.
Right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So let's get down to what you specifically do, because there's a lot of different providers of care for individuals. Mm-hmm. Is it primarily for seniors? Tell me primarily who you care for and what you do.
Right. Okay. So Home Care Services Santa Clarita, what we do is we provide caregivers, in-home caregivers, to seniors and others who might need some assistance with their activities of daily living. That's what we call it. So this could be, just getting around the house. It could be bathing, dressing, meal preparation, light housekeeping. Transportation is a big one. That's a lot of times the first signs, or the first time when somebody needs some assistance, is when they're having a hard time driving and getting around town. So that's kind of a big part of it. Now, this is what we call non-medical, which means it's not nurses that go in and do wound care or administer injections and things like that. We can monitor and help people with their medication, but not administer it, that kind of thing. But we go in and a lot of times it's just companionship. And these people are, independent to the point where they don't need a nursing home. They don't need to go into assisted living.
And they don't want it.
And they don't want it. They want to be able to age in place. So we're able to come in and provide a caregiver that goes in. And what we do effectively is this, is we look at those people out in the community that are caregivers, and we spend a lot of time screening, evaluating, training, doing orientations, making sure, managing those caregivers. Now we'll go out into the person's home and do an assessment, and then match those caregivers with a senior, or it could be somebody that's maybe just has an illness or an injury, but it's generally seniors. And then we'll match them up and say, okay, this is the match of a perfect caregiver with this client, and then monitor and manage that, the scheduling and all that, those kinds of things, so that we're making sure we're not just talking about somebody off the street. This is a managed process of people that are professionals that will be taking care of your mom, your grandmother, whoever it is. And it could be a couple hours a day, a couple days a week, all the way to 24/7 live-in situation where it's just 100% of the time, or something in between. And then there could be, families that are taking care of somebody, and then a kind of combination between that and a professional.
Kind of a break?
Yeah,
so
respite,
a lot of caregivers come, and the caregiver happens to be a daughter or son, but they need a break, and they need help. And they need, because they're used to having their own life. Now they're kind of taking care of mom and dad, so that makes so much sense. Let's talk about some of the examples of what you've been able to do, where you've been able to relieve or help somebody that didn't think they quite needed it, but their quality of life went up because of it.
Yeah, what happens is if you look at it right now, I think that the number is 39%. So 4 out of 10 people in our community, in the population, are taking care of somebody at home. 4 out of 10. So that's a lot of people. And if you look at Santa Clarita right now, our resources for those people, there are very few of them. Okay, so you've got resources for people who have kids and young families that are growing up, and those kinds of things. We even have resources for seniors. We have the senior center and medical resources and so on. But who's helping those people that are helping a loved one at home? Okay, so a couple of things, that examples of what we're doing to try to do that. Obviously, we provide professional caregivers to help with respite for that. But we're also opening up, and that will be opened up here in mid-December, our Caregiver Resource Center, which is just exactly what I just what the name is, a resource center for family caregivers. We call those people that are independent, not professional, family caregivers. So you've got products, services, information. We're gonna have seminars, workshops, presentations. We're putting together and forming right now caregiver support groups. So you just call us up and say, okay, I want to be part of one of these support groups where there's other caregivers who are doing the same thing, having the same challenges, same issues, same solutions, that can get together in a kind of normal support group environment, hosted by our center. They're down at the Caregiver Resource Center, and support each other. So that's one of the things. And I mean, Fred, it's just a lot of it's just information. So when people have these situations, they're not prepared for them. They haven't researched it. Right. They haven't gone out. It's not like,
the first
a
time.
car, right?
It's the first time they've done it.
Right.
And,
So
and they
what do
haven't
do?
maybe seen it done before.
And so they're asking the question, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And so come down there, have a cup of coffee, sit down, and sometimes it's not just buying a product or buying a service. It's just, help me out. Tell me what it is I need to do. We have other professionals that are handling other areas that there may be needs of: elder care law attorneys, home modifications, health and nutrition, on and on and on and on. It's just help for family caregivers.
So, Rick, tell us about Right Assist. I know it's something you're putting together.
Yeah, something new. So here's the thing: is you get people that come in and ask for all those services I just described for a certain number of hours and days a week and that kind of thing. But then there are some people that say, look, my mom doesn't need quite all of that. She just needs a ride to a doctor's appointment, and here I'm at work, and I'm constantly having to take off time at work and go take her down to a doctor's appointment. Now, I don't need necessarily the full-blown caregiver that we just described, but she just needs a ride. And I don't necessarily we need a little bit more, though, than just the bus where she gets picked up and dropped off, he or she, whoever it is. So what we put together is you can give us 48 hours anywhere in the Santa Clarita Valley, and then we'll go to the house, pick up the senior or whoever it is using their car, not the caregiver's car, the senior's car. Help them out of the house, help them in the car, to the doctor's appointment, stay there, help them get back in the car, go down and get their prescription filled, get a gallon of milk or whatever it is at the store, and then bring them back home again in their car, helping them in and out, in the whole thing, as opposed to just dropping them off and picking them up.
Right.
And then that's it. You put them in their easy chair and say, thank you very much.
Yep. And kind of be that arm as you're walking in, kind of be that assist as you come in. Yeah.
Without having to go through the full
There's nothing more beautiful than that.
process.
So, Rick, those that want to reach out and get your service.
Obviously, the
inquire.
website, homecaresantaclarita.com, so www.homecaresantaclarita.com. And then the phone number is 800-808-4777.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you.
in. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Ferrante.
Thank you very much.
Rick Ferrante, Home Care Services, Santa Clarita. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. This show is Fred Arnold on AM 1220 KHTS.